and welcome to our second video on how to create 3D versions of wildflowers found at Maestrel Park. We'll be making a different flower every day until Saturday, and then on the last day combining all these flowers to make a bouquet for Mother's Day. Today's flower is called the Poppy of Troy, a really beautiful flower. Here's a photo. The materials you'll be needing are these. You'll need some paintbrushes, one for paint, one for glue with a fine tip preferably, a black felt pen, sellotape and or masking tape, a green bottle top, some green paint, white glue or PVA glue, scissors and a ruler, the bottom of a carton egg box, tissue paper and black paper, preferably these colours of tissue paper, but if you do have different colours that's okay as well. And if you don't have tissue paper, you could either use some normal white paper and paint it on both sides, or cut out some colours from magazines. These need to be glued to each other so that you have two sides of the same colour. So you'll also be needing some of this glue stick. The next thing you need to do is cut into the top of the egg box, and please, anybody that's younger, please ask for help from an adult, and the top may pop off, so you might have to rescue that from somewhere. We need this to be about 1 centimetre high, so if you take your ruler and measure roughly 1 centimetre, it doesn't matter if it's a bit longer, like that. So that's the shape you end up with. You want it to be able to rest flat on a flat surface, so if you just trim the edges a little bit so it can sit flat. And then we need to paint it green. So take your green paste, this is just poster paint, stick it on the top of your finger and paint it green. Oops. There you go. And then just pop that somewhere and leave it to dry. Next you need a black piece of paper on both sides. It needs to be able to go round the bottle top. We can cut this to shape later, that's okay. And it also needs to be about 3 centimetres high. So we just need to stick that, first of all, cut a piece of tape. I'm finding masking tape a bit easier to work with, but if you have sellotape, that's fine. So the easiest thing to do is to first glue that to the bottle top. You don't want that bit though. Let's do it this way. And then go round. You need 4 hands for this, really. So that's secure. I'd secure it a little bit more so that it's stuck properly to the bottle top, like that. And then, because I don't want any masking tape showing, I'm just going to colour this in the black felt pen. And you can do this with paint, but it's better to wait for that to dry a little bit before working on it. And then, yes, you just do the same to that part. And then what we want to do is create some stems. So if you just cut into, you see that there? Cut into the middle on the side of the paper, and then cut some strips. And we need alternating thin and then thicker strips. So cut a thin, it shouldn't be too thin because we do need to glue things to it. So then the bit in between needs to be cut off. Okay, can you see what I'm doing there? Will look like a flower eventually, promise. So the result is this. This is actually made using bits of magazine because I ran out of black paper. So then you want to fold the tops of them over. So the best way of doing that is to put your finger where it's straight and then just fold the top over so that they're all have flat tops. Then we're going to grab our glue and the yellow tissue paper and just, so grab a piece of yellow tissue paper and then just scrunch up into a ball, and then take some of your white glue and dab it to the top. It can be a little bit fiddly, but it's worth it, I promise. And then once that's done, I'd leave that to dry for a few minutes. And then once it looks dry, you should end up with something that looks like this. Next, we're going to make the petals. So you need your tissue paper. You just need to fold this in four, sorry. And then just making sure it's roughly together. Just cut some longish inserts there. And then cut the shape of a poppy petal, roughly. None of this needs to be exact, just have fun with it. like I said before, nature's always different, so it doesn't have to be the same. Okay, so there you have your big petals. Just cut down the middle there where it was folded over. So this one has a bit of a funny shape in it. That's fine, we can just trim it. Okay, and the inside of a poppy has those little darker bits, so I'm just going to do the same with another piece of darker purple, but cut smaller pieces, and they will look like petals when actually they're part of the same petal on the actual flower, but that's fine. If you think of better ways to do things than I have, then please feel free. Actually, I'm going to, well, actually it's quite a good size, and then just cut through the middle like we did with the others. And if you're working with cutouts from magazines, all we need to do is glue, tape stuck there, using your glue stick, just glue these bits together. And there you have some coloured paper. So first of all, we want to glue our 4 little petals on. So I'll just glue these on in opposite sides to each other. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Oops, just realised I'm out of shot there. I'm not that used to videoing myself, so please bear with me. There's also lots of traffic noise, I'm afraid, in the background. So there's the first part of your flower. It can get a bit sticky with all the glue, but so you can wash your hands in between to help you get a bit unstuck. A bit more glue, and don't worry about white glue because it dries clearly. It's great stuff. So you just want to place your bigger petal in the middle of the smaller petal. So let's go for the one on the opposite side now. White glue also washes off hands quite easily, luckily. Oops, tissue paper can get a bit stuck to you. You may want to leave it to dry at this point. To stop the risk of getting all stuck. So this is dried a bit more now. So if you just apply, so going in the middle of your smaller leaf, petal, I mean. Just apply a bit more glue. And the last petal, I can try and unstick this from my fingers. So we're almost ready. Do you remember the little tip you painted? So if you just grab some, I'm using Yoo-Hoo here, but white glue should still work as well. And just apply that to the bottom and drop that into the middle and press it down. And there you have it, your first poppy. These are some other ones I made earlier. That's a red one and a combination of magazine because I ran out of black paper. So I made the petals using the magazine, and this is one using just a magazine. So I hope you enjoyed that and will join us again for the next video tomorrow.